Welcome to American Homestead, podcasting live from deep within the Ozark Mountains at an elevation of 2,200 feet. It's 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, the Late Late Show on the Homestead Network, and it's good to be back. Got a big stack of stuff for you again this week. I decided to drink coffee tonight. It's hot. We went to the creek to cool off a little while ago, but we're back, and it's still hot, but I'm still drinking my decaf coffee. Jamie's with me as always, trying to get some water out of her ear. So this was a fun time at the creek. The show tonight, sponsored by GasSpouts.com. GasSpouts.com, if you're sick of your silly Walmart China-made gas cans where no gas comes out of the spout, you can take those spouts off and you can basically replace them with a spout from GasSpouts.com. These are American-made, 100% made in the USA gas spouts. You can find at GasSpouts.com. They're a sponsor of the show. We really appreciate them coming on. We're going to be giving some more of their products away sometime soon in the coming days ahead. So stay tuned to the YouTube channel for that. But for starters, if you're interested in these kinds of shows, you can check out all kinds of other shows over at the homesteadnetwork.com. You can go to their show times and check out some other homesteads. I always see in the chat room, we always have new people coming in every week. And so if you're interested, you've never been here before, you can go to the homesteadnetwork.com, look at their show times, and find other great homesteading channels that talk about homesteading, off-grid living, preparedness, gardening, livestock and chickens, alternative energy, and food preservation, which is one of the things we'll be talking about here tonight. So if you're interested in that, you can go to the homesteadnetwork.com and check out all of the different channels over there. But hey, listen guys, thanks again for coming in this week. Got a big stack of stuff, like I said, that I want to talk about tonight, and some articles from around the internet that will be fun to talk about, news articles, and just articles that will in general be fun to talk about when it comes to homesteading type stuff. So we're always the show that follows Deep South Homestead on the Homestead Network. We're the Late Late Show, the last show in the running tonight. For you guys on the West Coast, I know this isn't that late for you, but those of you on the East Coast, it's 10 p.m. And for me, that's kind of like my bedtime. So it's late for us. But we're here in the Central Time Zone, so it's 9 o'clock. Getting started. So what did we do this week? Did you get the water out of your ears?
Oh, not quite. Kind of stuck.
You know, when you go in the creek, you didn't even go into water in the creek, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, did you? Okay, well, there you go. You get water in your ears. I usually have a hard time getting it out, though.
I know, but it's fine.
It was fun. We went there, we cooled off, and, there's always some locals there. There was a couple there with their kids from St. Louis. They were on vacation.
Yeah.
And they stopped by, just happened to find our little swimming hole off the side of the road.
Which is really random because...
Yeah, we're not on a map or anything.
Yeah, nobody ever comes there that isn't local.
You're not going to find swimming holes on a map anywhere around here, so they just happened to stumble upon it.
Yeah.
Maybe they were spooks working for the CIA or something.
They were city people.
Yeah, they drove a city car. But they were from St. Louis. She worked for Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Mm-hmm. One of their executives. Mm-hmm. I told Jamie after they left, I'm like, man, I should have asked her for a free upgrade, because we're going to Beaumont, Texas in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
I told Zach, no, because she's on vacation.
But they hand out free upgrades like it's nothing.
I don't know.
So.
But I told Zach after they left. That could be us, because they were talking about purchasing this nice new house. Not new, but new to them, like a really historic old home that had been completely
a bungalow,
updated.
Cottage.
And I know exactly the style of house she's talking about. And so she's singing my song when it comes to architecture and interior design and all that kind of stuff, which I love. But I told Zach later on, I'm like, that could be us. That could be us. But we instead chose to homestead, and there are absolutely no regrets. But it is a life choice. Like, it is a completely different life choice. Our choices took a completely different turn than normal American ambitions. Normal American ambitions is to make a lot of money, to live in this big fancy house, to have your kids in private school, all of those things. And, we could have done that.
Yeah. People in the chat room are saying it's buffering. I tried to restart the router. The router was doing okay. So let me see. Hopefully I just closed my email. Sometimes I know that does some things. Let me close some other programs here I don't normally run. But, yeah, I know Deep South Homestead was buffering as well before we came on, but they fixed it with a refresh. So let me you guys know if it's buffering, if it's still going, or if you're having issues. But anyway, yeah, we were at the creek tonight and met that couple from St. Louis, and they were on vacation. So I still should have asked them for an upgrade. Anyway, so what else is going on this week? We got rid of the cats. The cats are gone.
Yeah, I know. We hope that they went to a better place. I mean, I don't know. Who's to say? Who's to say where they got taken? But we sent them with our neighbor who was going to an animal auction. And at this auction, they often have animal giveaways like cats and other, that people won't pay for. And so the kittens all but one kitten and the mama cat went to the auction today. Not to be auctioned. They were going to be completely free. But that's how we got rid of them, hoping that someone would take them there. And she told us that normally people are always there looking for cats to put in chicken houses, to catch the rodents in chicken houses.
Right. So we don't know what their fate is, but
yeah, we don't know what their fate will be.
Well, I'll know more tomorrow, and see what happened. But hopefully they went to good homes or a good chicken house where they'll catch lots of mice. And but we still have the one coconut.
Yeah, we kept a male. We thought, it's male. We're not going to have more little kittens.
No.
And it was Caleb's favorite, and that was a big thing for me because he loves to play with him.
Are we still having issues? Do I need to restart? Let us know if you can hear us. Okay. Let's see if you guys can hear us now. Okay. Can anybody hear us now? Can you hear me now? The bar is all green, it says. The bar says it's all green. I can now. Okay, I think they can hear us. Well, folks, this is what it's going to be. We're going to keep on going after this. So the bar seems like it's green. Hopefully that's going to help out a lot. Okay, good deal. All right, so we go back to my stack of stuff. This week, I'm hoping we're going to have better communication now. So if you're familiar, I think it was season 3, episode 6. Or it was season 2, episode 6. I got to go back and look. Hold on, let me go back and look. YouTube, my channel. I got to figure out what episode they were in. Let me find out real quick. Season 2, episode 6. No, it's season 3, episode 6, I believe. Season 3, episode 6. Yeah. Season 3, episode 6. Lyndon and Charlotte, they were a couple featured on that episode, and unfortunately, Lyndon passed away. And they were a great young couple, and we've gotten to know them very well over the last few years and love them dearly. And he passed away just recently, and So we went over for a memorial. And it's a lot of you guys know, if you watched the episode, they were building their house, and they were still building their house, and so we've been working on that over the last couple of years, and they're doing it slow, and so they were doing it at their own pace, coming along great, by the way. They have the roof on. The roof was complete, and we were starting to put in the floor joist for the main floor. And so we worked on that. So we had a work day. It was a work day, 4th of July memorial. Lyndon loved the 4th of July. And so they had a memorial on the 4th of July because he just recently passed away. And, his family was there. Her family were actually back in London. She's from England originally. And, but there was a great group of people that were there for the event. And her parents left the house, there for everyone to use. And so it was a great time. And great remembrance of Lyndon, and we worked on the house and put the floor joist in and got that almost all complete. And then we had some fireworks at the end. So, but we wanted to let our audience know that, kind of what happened there. And season 3, episode 6 will always, be a special place in our heart because of that family. And who knows what the future will hold for that, but I know Charlotte is going forward. She's a very strong woman, and it was encouraging for us to see, how strong, of a woman she is. And I know a lot of people would want to know, what was going on there. And maybe you guys, if you haven't watched that episode in a while, and if you're not familiar with it, go back and watch season 3, episode 6, and see that. And just want to kind of keep everybody up to date. But that's what we did this week. We were there Tuesday, 4th of July, and spent some time with their family and just remembering Lyndon and just the whole situation.
Sometimes, Zach and I will always say, to be homesteaders, you really both have to have the same goal. Like, it really doesn't work very well when you both don't want it. Lyndon and Charlotte were an example of a couple who both really wanted it. They both wanted to be homesteaders, and they both wanted to try to live self-sufficiently. And Lyndon was doing his best to build with whatever building supplies were available to him. He wanted to build a good, strong house cheaply with supplies that were available.
Yeah, timber they harvested themselves.
So they both had the homestead vision. Heaven forbid, when you put yourself in that situation, I think that whenever there's death, you always kind of go there in your head. What would I do if? And I don't know, maybe this is kind of unpopular sentiment, but I'm just going to say it. Like, I think when you're trying, I'm not sure what exactly I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to help those people who want to homestead decide that this is 100% of what they want to do. What if your spouse wasn't in the picture? Would you still want to do it? Because I think that would give you a good clue as to whether it's your dream or whether you're just following along with your spouse because that's what they want.
Right, exactly.
And it is Charlotte's dream. It's absolutely Charlotte's dream because she still wants to build this house and she still wants to live this life. And even with her husband gone now. And I respect her for that.
So if you're interested, it's season 3, episode 6. I just saw Rain Country posted it in the chat room, so check that out. I think we're still having some buffering issues, but we're going to go ahead. I don't know what's wrong with the internet tonight. It's just one of those nights, I guess. We're going to push forward. What else we did this week? Real quick, we got the peaches. We did some canning. We'll talk about that in a minute. We harvested a couple of really big cabbages. Hopefully, Jamie's going to be making some cabbage egg rolls.
They're Zach's favorite.
I love that.
One of my favorites. One of your all-time favorites, yeah. I think.
Yeah, I love when she makes egg rolls. Also, we did that snake video this week, and that got a lot of attention, a lot of comments on that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But that video is up. A snake trying to gain entry into our chicken coop. If you haven't seen that video yet, please check that out. But canning peaches. So the article we were going to talk about was healthycanning.com. It's canning peaches. The link is in the description below, as always. And I'm wondering real quick, is one of the kids or your laptop drawing power down from something?
Drawing power? Well,
it's drawing internet. Is there anything up here running? You got a lot of tabs open. You got your email open.
Okay, I will close my email.
I'm wondering if his computer is doing anything too.
No, his computer is closed.
But it's healthycanning.com. And Jamie picked this article. You want to tell him why you picked this article?
I just really want to reduce using sugar in food preservation. Not only because it's a purchased product, but who needs more sugar in their diet? Like, I certainly don't need more sugar in my diet. Sometimes I'll look at the shelf and I'll think, oh, I really would love a jar of peaches, but man, I know they're super sweet. I probably shouldn't eat those. Like, who wants to say that about their canned food? Like, I probably shouldn't eat that. I mean, that's kind of a little bit useless, right? I mean, you want to be enjoying your canned food. Anyway, so I am really trying to make it my goal to reduce sugar. The last peaches I did on Friday, I reduced the sugar, but they still have some sugar in them. And I know that the boys like them. So I did them that way. But with all the rest of the peaches tomorrow, I did half of the peaches on Friday. So I did about 1.5 bushels on Friday. So I'm going to do the rest tomorrow. And I am going to do them without sugar. And so this recipe from healthycanning.com uses the recommendations from Ball Blue Book in order to can them without sugar. And so I've never done that before, but you know, it's recommended. So I'm happy to see that it's possible, and I'm looking forward to having peaches on the shelf that I won't have to say, I probably shouldn't eat that right now.
No, what's the ones you're doing? You did raw pack last week, and you're gonna do. What are you gonna do tomorrow?
Yesterday I did raw pack, and raw pack is possible with peaches. If you saw my jars of peaches and could see, oh, the cat's climbing on the screen. The cat's gonna get sprayed with the water bottle. Okay, so if you saw my jars of peaches, you would see that the peaches have risen to the top of the jar. And this article goes on to explain a little bit why that happens and why raw pack is not the preferred method to can peaches, because there's a certain amount of air inside a peach, and when it's heated, that air escapes before you put it into your jar. Whereas if you are raw packing, for those who are not familiar with that term, it just means that you are putting raw food into your jar before you put your jar into your canner. So there is actually raw food inside your jar. As opposed to hot pack, which means that the food has been cooked or heated first before you put it into your jar, before you put it into the canner. So those two terms are canning. If you get into canning, you'll see those terms a lot. Okay, so Friday I raw packed my peaches, and I did that for convenience sake because I was canning outside. In order to do hot pack, I would have needed 2 fires, and so I just chose to do it raw pack. The peaches are perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They are preserved very well. They'll stay on the shelf very nicely. But, you know, it doesn't make like a really pretty presentation with all of your peaches floating at the top of the jar. Plus, you need to use sugar. It's recommended if you are doing raw pack peaches that you should use sugar. So tomorrow, all of that to say, tomorrow I am not going to use sugar, so I will need to do hot pack.
So you cook them first?
Well, you don't want them completely cooked because you will have mush by the time you can them. You want to heat them. Okay. So they go into the jar hot. And this article with the recipe goes on to say that you want to heat your water with the peaches in the water to boiling, just to boiling. So you're not cooking the peaches, but the water has come to a boil.
Right.
So now that they are hot. So then that goes into your jar and then into your canner.
Right. Okay.
And in that way, you're able to not have to use sugar.
And when you do it that way, it won't float to the top on the jar?
No, because Zach missed the explanation of why that happens. Because there is an amount of air inside the peaches.
Okay.
When they're raw. And heating them allows that
air to be drawn out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, it makes for a prettier presentation, if we're going to put some in the county fair.
It does. But like I said, they're just fine. They're preserved just fine. They will be they're completely edible.
Yeah.
It's a matter of preference whether you raw pack or hot pack.
But the judges at the county fair,
Yeah, I don't think I'd win any awards with my raw pack peaches. Yeah, I prefer the hot pack, and the only reason I didn't do that is because I didn't have Zach helping me watching my other fire.
Tomorrow I'll be doing that with the fire. I'll be keeping the fire going. I gotta go get a truckload of wood down the hill at the sawmill because I got the sawmill. There's all kinds of wood down at the sawmill. I just gotta cut it up in the morning, bring it up, and we'll have plenty of wood. I can feed the fire and keep it going for her while she's doing all the work.
For those who are wondering why 2 fires is because I have to have one fire under my pot heating the peaches while I'm sticking it in the jars, and then I have to be putting the jars into the canner. So the fire pit is not big enough to hold multiple big pots like that.
So we're going to use the evaporator though, right?
Yes, we'll have to use the evaporator. So we'll be doing pints. For those of you who don't know, what is it? The sugarcane or sorghum or maple syrup evaporator has grooves in it, kind of like I don't know how would you describe that?
Where you can do pint jars, if you want to for
and you
water
can
bath.
Fill it with water.
Yeah, water bath.
And it is high enough to hold pint jars.
So we'll do that tomorrow. And I was reminding her that pint jars, because it's good to do some pints because they're good for gifts. If you give gifts away to friends or family who visit, whatever.
I don't know how they'll taste as good because they'll be sugar-free.
Oh, really?
That's what I just got done saying.
Well, when we get some of the clingstones, we got to do a sugar.
We'll do some with sugar to give away.
Yeah, just for gifts because they make really nice gifts.
They do, I know.
They look really nice. So we're going to go back, I think, next week to get some clingstones. I'm not sure what day we're going to do it yet, but we got to...
Are you going to help me peel them?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we all did it last year.
I know. It takes a crew to peel all those peaches.
But they look really cool, and they taste really good. So anyway, if you want more information, you can go to healthycanning.com. Canning peaches, link in the description below. All the articles we talk about are always in the description below. So let's see. Let's go back over to the next article I wanted to talk about was 14 drought-resistant vegetables if you plan, if you rarely get any rain. So let's just say you're in a place where you're going to get a drought or you think you might get a drought. Here are 14 drought-resistant vegetables to plant. Now, I'm not sure I agree with this article because where does it come from again?
Oh, it's our favorite, Off the Grid News.
So we have talked and mentioned numerous times on the show that Off the Grid News, it seems like they post a lot of articles where they don't know what they're talking about. They're just putting stuff on the page. They've never really tried things themselves. So when I was reading this article, I was like, oh, cool, 14 vegetables that are drought resistant. They'll be good to plant if they're drought resistant. Well, they basically list every single vegetable. So out of the 2 lists, they give lists for best drought-resistant vegetables for hot climates, and then they have another one for vegetables you might have success with in dry climates. And number 9 in that list is cabbage. And I know cabbage does not grow unless you water it.
Well, cabbage is in the first list too, isn't it?
I didn't see it up there.
Oh, sorry.
But, I mean, also some of these things like peppers I get, beans I get, but watermelon and cantaloupe, I don't think those are drought resistant. And I mean, I just don't think that's...
What about cucumbers? Are they...
I don't see... Well, cucumbers, I don't know, maybe. It depends. I mean, how are you doing your garden? Some of these, I just don't see them as sweet corn. I mean, if you're using a Roundup, and some of these other Monsanto GMO varieties that are drought resistant, maybe, but not... I don't think a lot of heirlooms, and I don't have a lot of experience growing corn, so maybe I don't really know. But I know cantaloupe and like watermelon, those are not drought resistant because watermelon takes a lot of water to grow watermelon. So here's the deal. I'm bringing this article to your attention, the audience, because I want your opinion. Some of you guys, especially like Deep South Homestead and some of these other guys, they have a lot of experience growing like corn, for instance, or, maybe watermelon. Or maybe cucumbers or cantaloupe. To me, cantaloupe and watermelon is not a good drought-resistant vegetable for a hot climate. You have to get rain for these things to grow. And for the next list, cabbage, I know because I've grown a lot of cabbage here. If you go a long time without rain, you have to water your cabbage. Otherwise, let's say you go for a month with no rain. And then all of a sudden it rains, and you haven't watered your cabbage at all, what happens to your cabbage is that it splits, or it breaks open. Because it grows so fast from that water, it takes that water in so fast that it grows and splits. Now that's the experience I've had. And so I know when it doesn't rain for like a week or two, or even a week, I'm out there watering my cabbage because I have all that water stored up from rain catchment. I'm watering my cabbage because if I don't, there's a good chance it could split. And so I want your opinion. Take a look at this list. Off the Grid News. It's survival gardening, 14 drought-resistant vegetables to plant if you rarely get rain. And let me know what you think. And leave a comment in the description below. I'd like to know what you think on that because I don't know. I guess I won't go off and say, they're completely wrong because I don't know all of the ins and outs of some of these vegetables. But I know that rain helps a lot of these. I mean, rain helps things grow, Rain helps them grow, So, I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm kind of bringing this article up to your attention because I want to know what you guys think. Leave a comment in the description below, or we'll talk about it in the chat room here in a few minutes. The other article that I wanted to bring up was... This one was a good one, too. It's Homestead Goals. And it's from the faithfulfarmwife.com. The faithfulfarmwife.com. And, I like going through, finding new articles or different articles from different homesteading websites. And this was one I hadn't seen before, faithfulfarmwife.com. And it's got New Year Homestead Goals. And it's the importance of making goals for your homestead. And we are very goal-oriented on our homestead, have always been. And it's not because of me. It's really because of Jamie's dad. Jamie's dad does an excellent job of writing lists down of things we want to get done on the homestead and then knocking them out one by one. And I know a lot of people have asked us, how do you get so much done on your homestead? It's like, man, you guys have done so much. How do you do it? And our answer is just to do a little bit every day. But, the other answer is that we make lists. Tim makes a list of things he wants to get done, and that's what we work on. And so that really is something you need to do for your homestead. If you have a homestead or if you want to have a homestead, one of the biggest keys to success is making a list, making goals, setting yourself, realistic goals that you have to get done and putting those in orders of priority. We were in survival mode when we first moved out here, and we had, orders of priority of things we had to get done. And that's how we did. We knocked them out one by one, bang, bang, bang. And, before we knew it, we had just an amazing homestead that people come out and they all at because they don't know how we got it all done. And it's just working a little bit every day. So check out that article. It's faithfulfarmwife.com, New Year Homestead Goals. A great way to, I think, stay organized and to get done what you want to get done in your homestead. What do you think?
I just think that goes for anything in life. I think that being goal-oriented helps you accomplish things. It's whatever it is that you want to accomplish.
Yeah.
Setting your goals.
But don't you think we've done that for this place, for our homestead?
Yeah, I think that what did it for us is, like you said, being in survival mode and having nothing when we first started. I mean,
Putting things in
basically
an order of priority.
a piece of land. Like, we pulled in our trailers onto a raw piece of land with nothing. And, getting the humanure started so that we would have a place to dump our humanure waste. That was the first thing on the priority list.
Mm-hmm.
Figuring out how to get water, and there was so many things, but I think that being in survival mode, I mean, we always had a strong work ethic compared to most of our generation, and especially younger. But I think that there's really something, at least in my experience, something about being forced to sink or swim. Like, you're going to either sink or swim. Like, you are going to get out there and you are going to pump your water and carry it into your house today, or you will not have water. There's something about that instills a really strong work ethic within you. That's what allowed us to, all these years later, to still get things done, is because we instilled that in ourselves early on.
Absolutely. And again, I think it's just really working at it little by little, chipping away at it, getting up every day and doing something. Even if you have to go to a job, for most of the day, getting up and doing something, finding one chore you can do to help, further along your homestead every day. It's like, imagine it's like a whole Lego set, and you have to build this Lego set. And even if you add one brick of that Lego set onto your project for the day, it's one brick that's up there that wasn't there before. Yeah. One Lego brick.
It's funny because, I'm sorry, maybe I harp on homeschooling too much, but, that is a significant part of my life. But we're working on scripture memory. And 5 minutes a day. I found a plan that uses 5 minutes a day, and we've worked through a number of passages so far in just a few months. Maybe 2 or 3 months. I can't remember. 5 minutes a day. It's like, builds upon itself, one thing at a time. You make a decision to do this one thing every day, and then you turn around at the end of the week, oh my goodness, it's done. Or at the end of the month, it's done. Project checked off my list. Whatever it is, allot a certain amount of time every day.
Right. Yep. It adds up. It adds up very quickly. Looks like our stream health is back to yellow. It's not in red anymore, so hopefully you're doing okay and you guys are hearing us all out there. Really sorry about that. Earlier in the show we lost our stream, but looks like we're back. Let's see. I'll tell you what, there was another article I wanted to go over tonight with you, but it was your dad mentioned it to us. It was about an Alaskan family that was living off grid. And I went over to it, and I saw it was posted by The Sun, which is a United Kingdom tabloid, and it had a lot of images on the screen that just were not good.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't want to share that with you guys. If you're interested, you can find it on drudgereport.com. It was an article about an Alaskan family, and they themselves were a little weird. There were some pictures of them that just made you want to scratch your head.
Now you're making everyone want to find it.
Well, hey, listen, I don't want to send anyone over there, but if that's where you want to go, it was interesting, but I'm not going to share the link because I didn't like some of the stuff that the UK Sun had put on the sidebars of the website. Anyway, it's not family friendly is what I'm trying to tell y'all, okay? So go check it out if you want, adults. Let's head over to the chat room and talk about the snake video. So the snake video that I put up this week, some people said that snake could easily just climb the fence. Well, no, it couldn't. I mean, yeah, it could climb the fence, But as soon as the snake climbs the fence, it tells all of the other chickens and guineas that it's there, and the guineas will be quick to make its life miserable. That's one thing about the guineas. The guineas are absolutely awesome at making snakes not want to be around anymore. They don't like snakes. And so if you're interested, you can go check out that video. It was a video, and the audio didn't work on the video when I first got it, and so I had to basically go back and re-record that, re-record the audio, of me talking over the video. And so it was a video. We caught this black snake trying to get into the coop. It was a pretty cool video, but he was still kind of far away. He wasn't that far away from the chicks. There were baby chicks in a run that were there. But as soon as he started to climb that fence, I'm telling you, the guineas would have had a heyday at that snake. So, and then we talked about, having dogs in the homestead and the purpose of donkeys, things like that, and why I like donkeys. We're going to get eventually another donkey at some point because they just do a great job. And I don't have to feed a donkey. They eat grass. I don't have to feed they have to feed a dog. You have to feed it dog food. And so there's lots of reasons why I like donkeys over dogs, and I think we'll do a video on that at some point in the future. Donkeys over dogs, because I don't know about you guys, but everyone around here has dogs, and they'll just fight, and they mate, and they fight, and they bark, and I don't want to have to train a dog to get along or stay on my property here and not run with the other dogs or fight with the other dogs because they come on our property. If a dog comes on the property, the donkey kills it. That's simple. And the donkey can, take on a mountain lion if it has to. A dog will not. It'll try, but it's going to lose against a big cat like that. But a donkey, good chance it's going to win against a mountain lion. And so, in fact, somebody even pointed out there's a YouTube video of a saddled donkey killing a mountain lion on YouTube. So donkeys are amazing when it comes to protecting livestock. So anyway, we'll probably do a video at some point on that in the future. What do we have in the chat room? Guys, if you would like Zach for president and Jamie for first lady, that's not going to happen. Hey guys, listen, if you want to ask us a question, please put it in all caps and we will get to it. If we don't get to it, it may be because we're ignoring it or we just didn't see it. So post it again and then we'll either ignore it again or we'll get to it. I'm just kidding, folks. Yeah, not really. Sometimes we do ignore messages. But let's see. Let me expand this out. Yeah, put it in all caps so I can see it. Put all the comments and questions in all caps. And hit that thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button. Appreciate you guys being here, taking the time out of your evening, your night, to spend it with us. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up for us if you can. Peoria Dude says, I think I want guineas before I get chickens. Absolutely, especially if you have ticks on your homestead or chiggers on your homestead. You want to get guineas because they will do wonders at killing all of your ticks. Can you eat donkey? No, you can't eat donkey. We don't eat our donkeys. I just think you're being funny. Please remember to put... Okay, yeah, let's see. The Texas boys are trying to connect with you for a visit. They have sent emails. I think I did see an email from the Texas boys. We don't really do visits right now. We're just not. It's hard for us to take in people for visits. I'm not kidding you. We Tree Bonsai says, the Texas boys are trying to get a hold of us.
Who are the Texas boys?
I think they're on STEEMIT now, and I think they've been commenting on our videos. I've seen them off and on. We get requests. I'm not kidding you. Every week for people to come to the homestead and visit, and I usually don't reply, or sometimes if I do, I just let them know I can't because we don't have time. For everyone if we granted everyone access to come to the homestead for a visit, it would just be, we'd never get anything done because we get that many requests. So we don't do requests for visits. Just sorry about that. The only time that's different is during the fall feast. We do have, for the Feast of Tabernacles, we do have people out to our place, and so that's going to be coming up in the fall. But we don't. Other than that, we don't really do any visits or tours of the homestead. And believe me, we get lots of requests. Some people have asked us, well, you could charge money and let people come out for a visit. But we know other people who have had that were, like Travis over at My Aqua Farm. They used to let all kinds of people show up at their place. And they said that did not turn out to be a good experience.
It's hard. I mean, okay, there's kids. There's kids involved. There's my children. I know that the Deep South have visitors. They don't have children. I'm not speaking for anyone else. This is for me. I am very picky about who I allow my children to be around. I don't know you. You don't come here. I think that any other mother could relate to that. I'm not really even sure why that wouldn't be understood.
Right. And it's not like we don't, I mean, I'm sure the Texas boys and other people are really great people. The problem is, not only do we value our privacy and we value our security of where we're at, but also we just don't have the time. I don't have the time. And so it's just something I can't.
It takes a full day out of our schedule to entertain someone.
Yeah, and just give them a tour
and basically that's what it is. It's entertaining someone. Now people will say, "Oh, we'll put us to work," but really,
it doesn't happen.
It doesn't work that way. I mean, I can't get a full day's work in, even when someone is trying to help me. It just doesn't work out that way.
Right. And so we do open our home up, I guess, again, in the fall. But that's for a feast time, and, there's things involved with that. But as far as all the requests we get, we just can't do it. It's just too many, way too many. But I wish we could. And not only that, but, again, there's the whole security thing. We've known other people who've done this, and it's not ended up well for them. And so we're kind of taking their advice and what they've learned, and we're just not doing it. So we're just going to just not do that. So it is what it is. What else? Anybody else talking about anything else? Any other questions, comments, suggestions? How's y'all's gardens doing?
I think it seems like the chat is way behind us.
Well, because probably, but also there's not as many people on tonight as it has been in the past, because we've had issues with the podcast tonight, the stream. But if you have any other questions, please post them. What are your guys' gardens doing this year? You guys have tomatoes coming in. We had our first tomatoes coming in this week.
Yeah, I had my first tomato off the vine.
I have not eaten one yet, except for the salad I made for you the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
I had 2 of them for lunch.
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to use those for pico.
There's plenty.
Oh, okay. So I think we're going to have some pico de gallo here coming up soon.
Yeah.
Because that's my favorite thing in the summer.
I know. And there should be lots of tomatoes.
I mean, there's. I hate the summer, but there are some benefits. Pico is one of them.
Yeah.
So we're getting that.
And peaches.
Peaches are good. The creek is good, but I don't know if it's a trade-off. I mean, there's bugs. It's hot. Right now I'm hot. Essential oil for breastfeeding. Do you use anything?
No.
No.
No. Sorry, got nothing. I didn't have any issues, so I can't speak to that.
Yeah, William Stewart says we don't have children and still very much dislike random visitors on our homestead. I want to train the donkey to chase people. That's what I want to do. Like Mr. Burns on The Simpsons, release the hounds. It's like, for us it'd be like release the donkey.
Oh, gosh. Random visitors is okay if they're neighbors, and we do get that every now and then. Yeah,
and our neighbors come up, every so often. Yeah, it's good to see the neighbors.
Yeah, it's nice to catch up.
And people from town, I look at it this way. My priority, anyone in this community shows up at my door, I give them my full undivided attention. People in town, people I work with at the pantry or whatever, or I know in town, or people that are neighbors, they're my priority. But Other than that, family and some other friends, you get that priority, but it's just hard. Other than that, I can't get stuff done on the homestead we need to get done. Would you recommend getting a Jenny or a Jack? Simple Life Homestead wants to know a Jenny or a Jack. If you're using it to protect livestock, it absolutely has to be a Jenny. A Jack will kill your livestock, sheep or goats, things like that, especially small calves or small lambs or small kids, goats. But if you're using it for protection, a Jenny. If you just want a pet like miniature, a Jack is fine. But the only reason you keep a Jack around is to make more Jennies. That's it. You one Jack. And keep them separated from the herd. But all the cattle ranchers that are around, I wouldn't say all the cattle ranchers, but a lot of the cattle ranchers that live around here, you'll see donkeys out with their herds. And it's mostly all Jennies and maybe one Jack. Or they'll have a Jack separated somewhere else on their, when he's only comes out for one purpose and one purpose only. But for livestock protection, it's all Jennies. The moms are really good with protecting sheep, goats, or livestock, new calves, especially when it comes time to calving season, when the calves are dropping, they put those Jennies. The Jennies are out there, and they do a wonderful job.
Introverts dislike the idea of house guests. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I work best on my own. Yeah. I don't like managing someone else's time. I work really well on my own. I'm an introvert. I like to work on my own. How many jars of peaches are we shooting for? I think about 75 quarts. Yeah. That's what I'm shooting for. I've got 25 done so far. I'll do another 25 tomorrow. And then...
Think we'll get the rest of the peaches done tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll get all these done tomorrow.
Okay. Maybe we'll save a few to eat.
Yeah, but they absolutely need to be canned tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to get pretty soft.
Without air conditioning, peaches turn really fast.
Yeah. Any creative uses for those peaches? I like cobbler. Are we going to make a cobbler? Maybe your mom will make a cobbler before we get rid of the rest?
Well, I guess if she wants to.
We're going to be getting some more peaches this week, probably. We're going to make another trip. We got to get it done. I got to start smoked salt tomorrow. So while you're doing that, I'll be making smoked salt.
Okay. But essentially it's just...
I'll be helping you out there. It's all in the same spot.
Yeah, I know. I just need you to watch the fire.
Yeah, I'll be making the fire, watching the fire. But we're going to be making some smoked salt, another batch of maple smoked salt starting tomorrow. We're going to get that done. Got to get that done tomorrow. Let's see. Freedom Makers. As a mom, I completely understand and agree. She's got a really cool YouTube channel. Check her out. She says, again, my garden is great except the squash and zucchini. They are almost all dead.
Yeah, our squash and zucchini isn't very good either, is it?
Our zucchinis do. We have one plant. Well, I'll be able to get some more zucchini probably this week. So
okay.
The other ones died. Some vole killed them, I think. And some of the other squash is growing good, like the winter squash, like the big Ozark Mountain potatoes are growing good. Delcata squash is doing really good. Your squash that you picked out, what was it called? Cream of the crop. It's not doing good at all.
Oh,
man. It's hardly ever growing. It's hardly growing
disappointed.
at all. Well, I don't know what to tell you. But the other stuff's doing good, so we're going to have squash this year.
No people equals more peace.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's why I stay off of Facebook. I have a lot more peace.
Yeah, don't get on Facebook. Stay on STEEMIT. Check us out on STEEMIT. Woohoo! We like STEEMIT. I'm going to do a video this week on STEEMIT, just so you know. How I steam it. I'm going to show you guys how to do the steam voter. I'm going to show you guys how to do the steam now. We're going to show you guys how I steam it and the best. And we're going to point out some of these other homesteads out there that are doing really good on STEEMIT. Rain Country doing excellent on STEEMIT. Let's see. Where'd he go? Where'd Iron Shield go? He was on here a minute ago.
I don't know.
Benjamin Turner. the Turner family and Lauren too. They're doing great on STEEMIT. A lot of guys doing great. I saw Big Family Homestead out there doing good on STEEMIT. A lot of people on STEEMIT. We're going to go through some of that. I'm going to show you guys how I STEEMIT. So that'll be a good video. Check that out. It'll be a screen share type thing, so you guys will be able to watch it on my screen. I think you guys will find that interesting. And then I know people have been emailing me. They're asking me about the BitConnect. How does that work? I know some people have signed up. I've seen a number of you guys sign up on BitConnect. Very cool. I'm going to show you guys how I'm doing that and how I'm earning Bitcoin. I don't like these guys who say you have to buy Bitcoin or buy cryptocurrencies. I think you should be able to earn cryptocurrencies and, use that for, things that you want to, earn, that's how you spend money, but I don't like buying things like that. So we'll talk about that. I don't know if I'll make a video on Bitcoin this week, but maybe next week or so. But we'll do a video on STEEMIT this week. But people have been asking about that, and I want to do a video on it. So I made peach vanilla bean jam this week.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it does sound good. I'm making, we have some peach wine that's brewing right now. Peach wine.
Yeah. Peach wine that Zach made from the peach scraps, the peelings and the little bits that hang on to the pits, things like that.
Yep, I made all that this week. I made 2 gallons of it. That'll make around 9 to 10 bottles of wine, hopefully. So we'll do some more about that. But I posted a picture of the wine I was making. It's bubbling right now in the corner. I posted a picture on STEEMIT. So, but I added a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg and vanilla to this wine batch, just a little bit. So maybe we'll see how that goes.
That has been my favorite wine that you've ever made. Is the peach wine that he made when I canned peaches last year. He used my leftover syrup as well as all of the peelings.
Yeah. Benjamin Turner's like, we are? ? We're doing good on STEEMIT? I think you guys are doing great on STEEMIT. You guys are doing good. So, Rain Country says, I got enough steam power now I can control my voting power, which is cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I was really glad to get to that point. So, I think the Turners are doing excellent on STEEMIT. It takes time to grow. The only reason I went so fast is because I have so many people following me on YouTube and other places. But, do you guys out there, there's some of you guys who are growing really fast, I think, for not having a big following. And I'm trying to help you guys. I'm trying to help a lot of people by sharing their articles, re-steaming it, or putting you in my Steam voter. I'll explain that in the video this week. But because I want to help you guys and upvote your stuff. But Rain Country says, Zach, do you have a Coinbase and is it necessary? No, I used to have a Coinbase account, but then I heard about all the horror stories of people losing their money on Coinbase and their accounts getting hacked or something. And I'm like, no. So I have my own wallet. I'll talk about that maybe when I do my STEEMIT stuff. We'll talk about that, how I get money out of STEEMIT. I use block trades and I have my own wallet. So we'll talk about all that. Jamie's like, what? What? She's not really getting it, yet, but we're working on some cool stuff that we're going to be putting on STEEMIT that she'll be writing. She's a good writer. And so we're just going to take her skill and put it on STEEMIT.
And you can put it on STEEMIT.
I'll put it on STEEMIT.
Okay.
You just do it for me, and you write it for me. We're going to be, you want to talk about your book you're doing?
I've written, about 2 chapters so far, and that may not seem like a lot, but each chapter is 25 pages. I don't know. I may still rework it. I feel like I have too big of an ambition. But at this point, my first chapter is talking about what is homesteading, because I think that it's really, really important if you're going to get into something to know exactly what it is that you're getting into. And I think that when we throw that homesteading word around, what does it really mean, and what does it really mean to you? And do you have the homesteading vision? Do you have that vision to accomplish what homesteading means to you? So essentially that's what it's about.
Yeah. So she's really good at writing. And so the introduction, we're going to put that into a video. We're going to put these chapters, we're going to split them up into videos. And I think people will really get a lot out of these. And we'll post them on YouTube and STEEMIT. And it's basically going to be her voice that she narrates, and then I'm going to work on the images for the video. I think it's going to really be cool. I think you guys will really like it a lot. So we're going to be doing that coming up here in the next week or so, starting that. I'm going to try to do the first recording this week, get it edited, and we have to go to Texas here, and we have to spend a whole week down in Texas. So it's going to put a kibosh on some of that, but it's coming. It's coming. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. Let's see. Love STEEMIT Freedom Maker said, I didn't know you were on there. I'll have to look for you guys over there. I think maybe I did know you were on there. I'm not sure. American Homestead is the only reason I started an account. I would love to see how you are doing so well. I've only posted once so far, but will do more once I know what I'm doing. Yeah, it takes a little bit to learn. There's a little bit of learning curve. It's not Facebook, but it also doesn't have the drama of Facebook. And listen, there's people over there. I can't think of the guy's name, but there's people on there, and all they do is comment. They don't post anything, and all they do is comment, and they're earning money just from their comments. So at the end of the year, end of the month, they look at it's called curation rewards, and they get paid just for commenting. And if I wasn't a creator, I would just have fun over there reading articles and commenting and giving thoughtful comments. Because if you give a thoughtful comment and people see that and they like your comment, they'll upvote you and like your comment, and that earns you money. So Facebook will never do that. YouTube will never do that. And I just think it's a better platform. And it's still in its infancy. There's going to be lots of changes. It's not perfect yet, and it's still in beta technically. So there's lots of changes coming on, with STEEMIT. So if you find it that there's some things that are difficult now, just stick with it for a while. Learn it and get to know the community and interact with the community on there. And that really is the best way to grow your page, is to interact with the community, read other people's articles, comment, and be thoughtful, and don't be negative. There's too much negativity. And if you like that, go to Facebook, because there's plenty of it there.
That's the thing that I think is genius. I know that I kind of glaze over sometimes when you talk about STEEMIT, just because I don't want to learn something, that new technology. But it took me forever to figure out how to text on a phone. So I'm kind of not into all of that. But the genius thing about STEEMIT is that it's run by a community of people. And if the majority doesn't like something, then it's not going to be seen. It's not acceptable. If your comment isn't acceptable, you're going to know it.
It's really cool, because you've heard that saying before, an armed society is a polite society.
Yeah.
Because on STEEMIT, everyone is armed with the ability to flag your post. And when you flag someone's post, not only does it take money away from their post, but it also takes reputation away from their reputation that they build up, the reputation score.
Yeah.
And so you have the ability to literally shoot somebody in the face every time you get on STEEMIT. And you don't want to make anybody really angry, or to shoot someone in the face like you see people doing all the time on Facebook, because that person has the ability to turn right around and do it right back to you. And so it's an armed society makes a polite society. STEEMIT is one of the best examples you can use for the Second Amendment, because everyone has the ability to shoot someone else in the face and ruin their earning potential. And so you don't dare do that to somebody unless the community really wants to do it together as a whole, because that person may come right around and do it back to you.
It's almost as if they've created something where you're sitting face to face with someone. It's almost like, some of the comments, what I'm talking about, that you see online, would that person say that to that person's face?
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely not.
They wouldn't dream of saying that if you were sitting right there. It's almost like that. It's like you're sitting there,
right.
And because you're polite.
Yep. Lester Blade says, I'm a STEEMIT commenter, will not get rich. No, you won't get rich on STEEMIT by commenting, but by the end of the year, if you make good comments, you'll definitely have enough money to take your wife out for a nice restaurant. I would think. I've seen people, get $20 for their comments, $5 for their comments. You do that all year round, you should be able to get enough money to take your wife out or your husband, your spouse out for a nice restaurant night on the town.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that some good
dinner and a movie.
Some good, insightful comments would get money.
When has Facebook ever done that? Never done it. Never done it. Hey, guys, listen, really appreciate you guys coming in again and spending the evening with us on this Saturday night. The Late Late Show of the HomesteadNetwork.com. Join us again next week. The show, again, sponsored by GasSpouts.com. Check out their website, GasSpouts.com, and at least send them an email and say, hey, heard about you on the American Homestead, and really appreciate you guys sponsoring their show. And check them out. If you have a gas can you need to replace a spout on, GasSpouts.com is the place to go. Again, thanks so much for tuning in again this week. Saturday night, we'll be back next week, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. See you next time on the Homestead.